So, Dan, you are, I would say, one of the best people to talk to about esports payments. So I really wanted to take this opportunity to chat to you about esports payments because I do think it is a bit of an underserved topic and an underserved discussion, actually, talking about it. So, firstly, I know it sounds really simple, but I think it's good to educate people about it. Like, why is payments and the development of new payment processes so important for the esports industry specifically?
So first, it's very actionable for me to talk to you about this because payment can actually be is a tricky conversation. I think my 2 cents is that we need to fix payment, and I say the word fix because I believe esport can be a career, and when we speak about career, we speak about a job, and we all being paid at the end of the month correctly. And I don't understand, for instance, how we didn't manage to find a proper solution for esport players, athletes, to be paid the right way when they win the competition, for instance. So, as myself actually being passionate about esport and having this affiliation and this passion with payment, fintech, name it, I just want to find the proper solution for them first and foremost. The second of it is that I think that we talk about monetization, but I think that esports, it's actually touching everyone. There's a gamer in every country, but we don't have the same ease to access payment, to access actually a debit or credit card. So it is logical for me today to step in with my modest background to make sure that I can support this community.
So why is it specifically so hard, and what are the barriers for esports payments in general? I mean, when you have, say, let's take an example, you have a player who's just won a tournament, he's just won £1,000, he's from North America, the tournament's a European tournament. Can you break down, like, why is the payment process of that quite difficult?
Yeah, you're asking me a very interesting question because you're setting up actually, for instance, a scenario. We're talking about actually a tournament happening, for instance, in North America. The price is in another currency, for instance, in GBP, because the organizer is actually British. You have to assess first the forex. You have to assess the legal part. You have to the taxes, for instance, because if it's considered as salary, you're earning something. So who are you going to pay? Are you going to be paid the taxes in the US, or are you going to pay actually the taxes in the UK? The player, does he have to pay for it, or is his team has to pay for it? So you see this little element when you compiling them, it's creating actually a very some frictions, into the money stream until it's reaching him. Today, if you're actually having a job, your actually employer is in charge of doing this. But because there's so many third party in between, is that we need to address this the proper way. So there's no actually blank, foggy areas for the players. He's right. It's actually a very good moment for him. He won a tournament against maybe the top players for the last 5 years, but he shouldn't have actually the headache of how I'm going to actually collect my money that I won fair and square.
Is the onus on it, would you say, more for the organisation, or is there actually a player responsibility as well when it comes to payment?
I want to say that there's not that much a player responsibility, but he needs to be educated and supported the best way by his team. When we actually are having a job, we giving actually our security or NIN number or insurance number, depending of the country, and they're actually looking after us. There's a registration, there's legal actually activities that making sure that you're being assessed the right way. And for a player, it should be this way. You talk also about something that it's very keen to me. The community, the player, the audience playing video games can start very young. Like we talk about actually one of the former World Cup winner in Fortnite, underage.
Yeah, was he 14, right? Wasn't he? Yeah.
And he's winning the big jackpot. He has no clue how he's going to access his money. Almost like, are we going to put it in the trust fund? Is it actually the parents going to actually get the money? How does it work with the organization? Us, and when I'm saying us, people taking part into the finance actually ecosystem, we need to support them. We need to actually let the bank know how to accommodate the right payment method. Is it going to be actually, are we going to create a digital card for them? Are they going to be having a physical card, in their wallet? How do we pay? People want to be paid in PayPal, to mention actually any type of alternative payment method depending of the region you are. All this together, I think that this is today my side responsibility to find actually a proper solution. Thank God today we have plenty of initiative that actually going to come on stage to support those people. But you're absolutely right. It is the responsibility of everyone, and everyone should be putting their own little effort in this.
Is it weird, because I think a lot of people think of esports, the biggest positive with esports is that it is global. You know, it is something that breaks kind of a lot of boundaries, breaks, you know, country restrictions or anything really. But actually, from then a payment standpoint, that's actually probably the most difficult thing with esports is the fact that it's global, because you have to deal with so many different entities and you know, different companies we've involved in that. Is it possible to have a solution that can truly fix all that, or is it all about kind of making it as easy as possible?
If you asked me the question 5 years ago, I would tell you we're not quite there yet. Before, the publisher was actually, they were doing and dealing with the what we call push to pay, what we actually pushing the payment into actually people's gamers account. Or another way to call it in payout is like they're actually collecting the fund in the way they want. For me, I think that I want to say that we're ready. We're ready actually to assess this because we have the mean and the understanding of esport. One thing that people used to forget is that when you're earning in esport, you're earning a consistent amount of money. And if you look at an esport team, I don't know which one you're a fan of, but I actually am a massive fan of many teams in Europe. And when you look at them, they're all coming from different region or different country. So you see that the money stream is a bit more complex than just being a British player from a British team, from a British organization. It is actually more like a maze. But today, I believe that we're ready to assess this, and we're ready actually to find a solution.
I think what's really interesting as well is the fact that this problem is still prevalent. Now, obviously, there is a long history and a recent history, unfortunately, of teams not paying players. Sometimes that is a financial thing, but sometimes that is, you know, we've heard the topic of a tournament organizer hasn't been able to give the money to them, processing problems, you know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. How bad of a look is it, the fact that like payment solutions aren't fully sorted yet? Because does it give a bad light to the esports industry?
So the problem is that people actually don't trust at the end of the day how it's dealt with. If you think about this, you know, we are expert in our own area. It is. I don't think it's fair to say to tell the publisher to manage the money stream, something that is not within their remit. It's important that when an expert and consultant, an icon within the verticalities can actually do something about this, banks, fintech processors, they can actually act on it and support this. And saying that, for instance, a publisher having a fantastic title, being grey out because they're not able to pay within 6 months the price pool, for me it hurts me a bit because it's not their fault. Yes, they have the mean to find a solution, but right now, I think that a lot of processors and fintech and even banks are saying we need to do something about this because it's a festive moment. It's something very good, a tournament. You have the hype. You want to actually see this. But when you're seeing actually a players on social networks saying, I won 2 months ago the world title, but I still didn't get my money, that's something that shouldn't happen at all, no matter the amount you're winning. And I'm thinking about, you know, we used to compare esport to traditional sport. So when you're actually winning the World Cup, football, for instance, there's no such problem, you know, in the money stream. Why is it exist a problem around esport? But I think today, 2023, we are way ahead on trying to find the right solution. We need to make sure that everyone is playing their role, taking part in this.
So we're here at Next World Forum, so I did want to kind of have a next theme to my last question. In payments specifically then, what do you think is the next development when it comes to esports and payments?
I take the booking for next year, definitely. It seems like you and me, we're seeing each other a bit everywhere. I think that in a simple way for somebody that is not somebody actually a bit neologist, you know, into this verticalities, I would say that the simplicity is to create a digital card for instance, like a Visa card, for instance, and whether you're winning a title or you're winning a competition, to this very card, we can find actually the easiest way for you to receive the money just by having actually this card register into a tournament, because this card actually will be in partnership with a bank or is a part of the reward program. But just the way that you're going to actually pay on your console, PC, or mobile with this card, if you win, you're going to be able to receive the money on this very card within 7 to 14 days. And that's today what we're aiming. Even faster than actually a salary of 30 days. But we're trying to aim this because I think it's doable, and I think that we have enough actors that are ready to take the lead and support this revolution.
Perfect. Dan, absolute pleasure. Like I said, can't wait to talk payments with you probably next year, probably the next couple of months or something like that.
Anytime, my
But,
friend.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.